Hi everybody, I'm Astral Urmah. Welcome back. Today I'm going to rant about the Federation, not the dreamy, unrealistic version sold to you in New Age circles like the Ashtar Command or the Galactic Federation of Light, which are both CIA Federation psyops. They want you to swallow a prefabricated story of saviors from the sky. That's not the story that I have. What I'm going to talk about is the living reality of what it is, what it does, and how it's compartmentalized, and what we as starseeds and awakened humans need to do in order to face it without illusions. So let's begin with the core truth. The Federation is not some etheric order of light beings. It is a political and a military machine. It's a massive multi-species body that grew out of the old Lyrian expansion. It's made of real people with real problems, real issues. So think of it less like a heavenly choir and more like a United Nations multiplied across star systems, with the same politics, agendas, and rivalries, only hidden behind a mask of higher ethics. Yes, the so-called prime directive. I'll get into that in a second. First, I want to talk about the power structures. It's completely compartmentalized into layers and sections. On the surface, you see the governments, the parliaments, the presidents, the prime ministers. Below that, you see the deep state, the secret societies, the three-letter agencies, the private networks, the private militaries. And beneath that or above it, depending on your point of view, you have the non-human hands, the regressive reptiles, the Orion Greys, and then you have the Federation. But the Federation itself is compartmentalized. You have the local councils, you have the regional councils, you have the solar system councils. Then you have councils above that nobody knows who they are. By the time you try to look at really who's in charge and who's pulling the strings behind the scenes, you're hit with walls of bureaucracy, secrecy, and silence. This entire structure is a red flag. Any structure that hides its true center of control and command is not acting in service of the truth. It's acting in service of control. Now let me address the so-called prime directive. This is the law of non-intervention or the law of non-interference. On paper, this sounds nice and noble, but in practice, it's completely twisted. The Federation is constantly and consistently intervening in Earth's affairs when it shouldn't. But it's interfering in ways to maintain control rather than liberate. They seed politics and they feed technology to the cabal behind the curtain while keeping the masses starved. They write and rewrite history using hard resets and soft resets. Sometimes they use even cataclysms. Okay, the soft resets they use through perception management, all to steer the human story into the shape that they want. And they all say it's justified by saying that the souls choose to have this experience. Yes, souls choose experiences, but exploitation is not choice, manipulation is not choice, and fear farming is not growth. You don't justify poisoning a field by saying the plants wanted the challenge. That is so wrong on so many levels. So we have to ask the question, who benefits from all of this suffering? Let's look deeper. And I apologize for bringing it up this way, but the astral component is real. The secret societies on Earth have long drawn on dark astral entities, feeding them with blood, fear, and ritual. It's fucking disgusting, and it needs to be stopped. Those same entities have influence at the highest levels of the Federation. You know, the Federation, astral parasites, human cabal, they are not at all separated. They are all intertwined. That's why war, trauma, despair all repeat across centuries, even millennia. Not because humans cannot grow, but because suffering is harvested as fuel. And then you have Orion, the Atorthans, the tall grays, with their cold logic. They hold high seats in the Federation right now, in the Federation hierarchy. Officially now they are positive, but in reality their influence bends policies in their favor because they are the mind-controlling freaks. And they're everywhere in Earth's atmosphere, second only to the Alfratans in numbers. The Federation explains this as diplomacy, but I see it as a hostile takeover masked as cooperation. Now, some people ask me, hey Jake, doesn't the Federation block the reptilians and worse from openly invading? Well, yeah, on the surface, they do. And this might not be a great analogy, but it's kind of like this. A farmer protects its herd not out of love for the sheep, but because the herd is its property. So don't be deceived. Earth is not being liberated. It is being managed. And so where did the Taygetan stand in all this? Because they worked inside of the Federation and they saw the corruption firsthand. Around the year 2018 is when they started to break away, accusing the leadership of negligence and complicity. And they have joined with the Urmah, because they always are joined with the Urmah for thousands and thousands of years, to form an alliance of protection, not to wage war on the Federation, but to demand its cleansing and to defend those who cannot defend themselves. The Urmah see themselves as the guardians of the galaxy, okay? And they want to shine light on the hidden chambers of power. So that work continues, although many star races remain asleep underneath the Federation propaganda. The same mind control, the same propaganda that we experience on Earth is happening in space as well. So we can't, we can't look away from that truth. All right, so what about us? What about humanity? Well, the door opens from the inside. Waiting for saviors is the same trap as waiting for politicians to fix your life. You cannot outsource sovereignty, okay? And the Federation is not going to give you sovereignty. It's not even theirs to give. It's something that you have to step up and take, okay? By waking up and changing your perception and refusing to feed the fear field. So we need to stop romanticizing the Federation, okay? We can respect the good people inside it. Many of them are sincere. But do not worship the structure. They're not coming to save us. And we need to see it for what it is, a political body that serves itself first. Next, we need to reclaim our power, because every soul here is a node of manifestation. Fear collapses your field and makes you food, but clarity, courage, and truth expand it and make you sovereign. So this is not a philosophy. This is mechanics. And you know what? We can build cultures. We don't have to wait for disclosure from a podium. We can create circles of trust and share our truth, share our experiences, teach each other our skills, form communities. When enough humans live in sovereignty, the matrix cracks from the inside and no outside council can stop it. So to the Starseeds that are listening, we are not here to wait. We're here to lead, not with arrogance, but with service, okay? We came with memory in our souls, so we need to step up, show the way forward, and build. We need to show the way. Let me close with this. The Federation wears a mask of guardianship, but the mask hides a machine of control. The real guardians are you. Okay, the real change is not in some council chamber around Saturn. It's in your mind, it's in your heart, and it's in your daily choices. So yes, think and analyze, but above all, follow your heart and follow your intuition. Okay, follow your heart and follow your intuition. Take your control back, take your sovereignty back, step up and make free will choices. I'm Astral Urmah, and I stand with the ones who choose sovereignty over nice stories. So I thank you for watching and listening. Stay strong, stay awake, stay sovereign, and I'll see you in the next video.